YouTube above average coding. If you haven't already heard the news, Xdefiant is shutting down. Once talked about as the Call of Duty killer, flaunting some no SBMM, really fun pubs with some amazing gameplay and memorable maps. It did supply some of those things, but apparently in the long run, it just was not meant to be. And I want to have a little discussion today on why this is a good thing, but also a bad thing at the same time for face value. Now, obviously, the game shutting down is a little bit interesting because not even 3-4 months ago, I'm pretty sure, we had some higher-ups with Ubisoft saying that the game was absolutely not shutting down. There was no talk of it. There were murmurs going around, and that was about it, and they snuffed them out quickly, saying the game was still going to go on as such. And apparently that was very inaccurate because recently we got news that Xdefiant will, in fact, be shutting down, and Ubisoft once again flops with another game, especially being a first-person shooter. So what really happened here? Now, Xdefiant, again, as I mentioned, it was talked about as being the Call of Duty killer, because let's be real, it's pretty similar to Call of Duty. I wouldn't compare it to any other game, and it was pretty much aiming to improve where Call of Duty kind of got away from. It's no secret games like Call of Duty, these mega just market control games where everybody's playing them no matter how quality or not quality the product is, they control everything. So Xdefiant was one of those games that pretty much tried to cater to the fan base and give fans what they want that Call of Duty has been lacking for many a years now. And I'd say they did that pretty well. And although the game was pretty well-rounded, pretty fun, again, I'd say it had memorable maps, it had color, which COD was missing, it dialed and got away from the SBMM aspect of things, the gunplay was pretty simple, even the sniping was pretty fast. It was all the things Call of Duty got away from that fans were missing really badly. And I think this is a good thing because competition is always good, guys. It incentivizes games to put out better games. Now, whether or not Xdefiant is what kind of pushed Call of Duty to get back to some of the things they got away from, with Black Ops 6 being a massive improvement over more recent COD games, or if Call of Duty just decided to finally put their foot on the gas and get back to kind of where they started, I really don't know. But if Xdefiant was the spark to that fire, they definitely did that. However, the not so good part is this goes to show how much of a control games like Call of Duty have on their respective markets, guys. And it's not necessarily super bad because, I mean, the game's been around forever. A lot of times the first and biggest person to do it is going to be the one with the most longevity. But I think the moral of the story here is players would rather play Call of Duty than some other spin-off of it, no matter if it's free to play, no matter if there's no SBMM or anything of the sort. It's kind of hard to dethrone these absolute mega games from these mega companies where they just have all of these fans, and for a lot of these fans, this is the only game they play, guys. So a lot of people maybe didn't even try Xdefiant. They may have looked at it, they may have seen that it's super similar to Call of Duty, but it's very hard to beat out a game like Call of Duty, and I think the main reason is they've done just about everything. Even in something as simple as an FPS arena shooter, it is you can only innovate so far. I mean, it's like you could do something crazy like, I don't know, add a jetpack. Call of Duty has done it. Call of Duty's done just about everything you can. They innovated before innovation was cool in this genre. Granted, other games did as well before and during Call of Duty doing it. But the point is, at this point in the gaming landscape, guys, we've achieved this kind of bubble effect of games trying to capitalize on these monster, again, market-controlling games kind of lacking, and they're trying to kind of pick up and take that older philosophy that was working with fans, and all we're seeing is that this bubble only pops and it leads players back to the Call of Duties and the games that they just know, love, and have been playing for 10, 15, even 20 years, guys. So I don't at any point think Xdefiant is a bad game. I don't think it was necessarily mishandled, maybe in some regards. And maybe it was true that they weren't actually going to shut down a few months ago when they said that, and maybe they shifted their focus. I've seen a lot of talk about Ubisoft having potential layoffs and things like that, and that's never good, and that could also play a big role in the model for Xdefiant because it takes a long time for a game like that to make a lot of money. That's part of the reason Call of Duty makes so much money is they've been around a long time. They have a massive stranglehold on the FPS arena audience, and players just want to keep coming back to play. Meanwhile, with Xdefiant, it was shiny, it was new, but it comes down to how well you can maintain and hold that hype. And let me tell you guys, months after Xdefiant was out, even I was playing it. It was fun, but there was nothing really just driving me to hop back on. And I think that's when the bubble pops, is when these things stop being so shiny and new. Games like Call of Duty start to get back to, I don't want to say their roots, but just making games that are a fun time, and players would just rather play a label that they know and they love and they can reminisce about in their past, as opposed to something that's shiny and new, but still pretty much the same product and can't really be innovated any further, at least not from what my eyes can see, guys. And I think that's kind of where Xdefiant ended up kind of flopping, and I'm not shocked they're dropping it at all because, again, guys, with Call of Duty kind of popping right now and how many people are playing it, I really just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for Xdefiant. I'm sure Ubisoft doesn't either, and I'm sure that's a big reason why it's currently on the chopping block. I do believe they're going to leave the servers up for a while for people who are currently playing out whatever season or whatever they call it they're on, but I believe they're not taking any new downloads on the game, and then they'll be shutting down the servers for good, which, again, it's sad to see, but I don't necessarily want to say it's a bad thing for anybody outside of Ubisoft and maybe Xdefiant devs, because it sucks to see your product kind of go like that, especially with how much work I'm positive that they put into it. But it's a good thing in regards because we've potentially seen where competition in a market like this can get people. Maybe in a different world where Call of Duty chooses not to improve and Xdefiant finds some way to innovate this genre, maybe this flip-flops and goes the other way, but it's going to take a lot for it to go that way. I think it's just inevitably more likely for this shiny, new, non-innovated copy and paste product taking over the market is just very, very unlikely, and we're not going to see it, but the competition may make a better product out of the more dominant label that's been around for a million years. But alrighty, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Please share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, leave a like, and of course, guys, channel memberships and super thanks if you'd like to support monetarily. And I'll see you a lot as a content creator, but please do not feel like you have to. But alrighty, guys, if you enjoyed Xdefiant, I definitely apologize, but I'll be honest, Black Ops 6 has been pretty fun, so feel free to give it a try if you're gonna have a void once those servers shut down. But alrighty, guys, that's it from me. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video, y'all.